published, 434 EDT, the 23rd of April 2018, updated, 737 EDT, the 23rd of April 2018. Alice or Mary? Victoria or Elizabeth? Albert or Philip? The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are likely to seek regal inspiration for their imminent arrival. After opting for the traditional names George and Charlotte for their first two children, William and Kate are expected to keep it classic once again for baby number 3. According to bookmakers, Mary has been the front-runner for a girl for some time, closely followed by Alice and then Victoria and Alexandra. For a boy, Arthur is leading as the favourite following a flurry of bets on the name in the last week, and then Albert, Frederick, James, and Philip. Bookmakers also have a boy as the favourite at 10-11, compared to a girl at evens. So what will the new prince or princess be called? Here are some of the contenders. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge outside the Lindo wing in 2015 after Charlotte's birth. For a girl, Alice. Alice has been popular at the bookmakers. The Duke of Edinburgh's mother was Princess Alice of Battenberg. She saw little of Philip when he was a child. She fell ill and was committed to a sanatorium. In later years, she went to live at Buckingham Palace and was said to walk around in a nun's habit, smoking woodbines. She founded an order of nuns. Mary became the favourite at the bookies after a flurry of bets. It is one of the Queen's middle names. It was also her grandmother's name. Princess Mary of Teck, who was born in 1867, was married to George V, becoming Queen Mary. Arthur 5-1, Mary 6-1, Alice 7-1, James 8-1, Albert 10-1, Victoria 10-1, Alexandra 14-1, Frederick 16-1, Philip 16-1, Thomas 21, Diana 21, Elizabeth 21, Grace 21, Henry 21, 25-1. Bar odds supplied by Ladbrokes. Britain has seen two Marys on the throne. Mary I, known as Bloody Mary for her persecution of Protestants, and Mary II, who ruled jointly as monarch with her Dutch husband, William III. There has also already been a Princess Mary of Cambridge. Princess Mary Adelaide of Cambridge, who was born in Germany in 1833, was the original People's Princess and a granddaughter of George III. Affectionately known as Fat Mary for her girth, she was one of the earliest royals to support a wide range of charitable organizations, but lived extravagantly beyond her means, running up huge debts. Queen Victoria was previously the longest reigning monarch in British history before she was overtaken by Elizabeth II in 2015. Victoria, figurehead of a vast empire, was queen for more than 63 years. Acceding to the throne in 1837. She married Prince Albert and had 9 children, but mourned Albert's early death for the rest of her life. The name has been a popular choice for princesses in the British royal family in tribute to Victoria. Alexandra is another of the Queen's middle names. It is also the name of her cousin, Princess Alexandra. The Queen's great-grandmother was Queen Alexandra. Queen Alexandra, who was born in 1844, was married to King Edward VII. A Danish princess. She had a happy childhood and was known to her family as Alex. She was once considered one of the most beautiful princesses in Europe. Elizabeth has already been used for one of Princess Charlotte's middle names. But the monarch is held in such esteem by her family that it is not inconceivable it could be used for a first name if the Cambridges have another girl. The Queen, who is now Britain's longest reigning monarch, was known as Lilibet as a child. Amelia was the name of one of George III's daughters. Born in 1783, Amelia was the youngest of the king's 15 children. She fell passionately in love with one of her father's equerries, Charles Fitzroy, but was forbidden by her mother from marrying him. She died from tuberculosis when she was 27. George II also had a daughter called Amelia. The name was the most popular girl's name in England and Wales for 5 years from 2011, until it was knocked off the top spot by Olivia in 2016. Isabella could also be a contender. The name is a variation of Isabel, itself a variation of Elizabeth, meaning devoted to God in Hebrew. Nicknames could include Bella, Izzy, and Izzy. Other names: Kate might choose to remember her grandmothers Valerie and Dorothy. Harriet is also a family name on her father's side. She could decide to use her mother's name, Carol, or a form of it, such as Caroline or Carolina. For a boy, Arthur, one of Charles's middle names, Arthur is also one of William's middle names and was a middle name of the Queen's father, George VI. The legendary King Arthur was the mythical leader of the Knights of the Round Table, who supposedly lived in the 5th or 6th century. Once popular, the name fell out of fashion but has had a revival in recent years. Former Prime Minister David Cameron has a son called Arthur. Albert. Queen Victoria used to insist that the name Albert was used as a middle name by her descendants, if not a first, in honor of her much-loved consort Prince Albert. By choosing Albert or Bertie for a boy, William and Kate would be honoring Queen Elizabeth II's father, George VI, who was actually Albert Frederick Arthur George but always known to his family as Bertie. Shy, stammering Bertie was forced to become king when his brother Edward VIII abdicated, but won the nation's affection by standing firm in London during the Second World War. Philip. A lasting tribute to the Duke of Edinburgh might see a Prince of Cambridge called Philip. Both Charles and William have Philip as a middle name. The Duke, known for his dedication to duty and his acerbic wit, has been married to the Queen for more than 70 years and is the nation's longest-serving consort. Frederica. Prince Freddie of Cambridge would have a historical link to the first Duke of Cambridge. Prince Adolphus Frederick lived from 1774 to 1850 and was a son of George III. He was apparently very fond of interrupting church services by bellowing out by all means if the priest said let us pray !. Charles William may want to pay tribute to his father, but perhaps as a middle name as it may be considered too similar to Charlotte. James. James could be chosen to signify Kate's affection for her brother, the baby's uncle, James Middleton. William already has a cousin James, the Earl and Countess of Wessex's son, Viscount 7. James is a Stuart name. James I, son of Mary, Queen of Scots, had been King of Scotland for 36 years as James VI when he became King of England in 1603. Other names they could choose: William as a middle name for a boy, but also perhaps Michael as a middle name out of respect for Kate's father. Kate's grandfather on her paternal side was called Peter, while on her maternal side, her grandfather was Ronald. Thomas also appears several times in Kate's family tree as does Francis.